five senses. You will smell, you will hear, you will touch, you will see when you're reading the book. And why do I call this book truly beautiful and magical? For me, it drew me in, and I can't tell you how fabulous the author is also an artist. I think it is wonderfully presented, so we will be touching on this. One of the arts that I really, really liked, and the second one is this. And it is filled through the book, and that is why I say, in that sense, it's a very sensual book. You will read, you will smell. It brings the smell of the earth to me. So I am really happy to be moderating and in conversation with the author. Please welcome Ruchi Raveendran.
Trust me, I grew up a rebel, not a disbelieving one, only one who yearned to believe in everything, in all its possibilities.
Well, this is an approach one needs to arrive at.
I believe that any one particular idea is not the only answer to the knowledge or to the truth, whether it was a spiritual custom or it was a mathematical problem. I started exploring at a later age, understanding what are the real reasons behind it. So I was not rebelling against it, but I just needed to know where it was guiding me.
I must tell the audience that this is a common feature that you will find in all her stories, which are pristine in their simplicity, pristine in their profundity at the same time, and extremely magical. I think that is a high point for me of this book. It's a pristine simplicity with immense food for thought. I must tell you that right at the beginning. So let's get to the story. It is Aranamula Maya Kannadi. Am I right? Am I close? Doesn't matter. I want to be the thief in that story. Seriously, and when you read it, even you will want to become a thief of that story. And Ruchi is going to tell you why I am saying this.
So the whole world has heard about Aranmula Kannadi, the only mirror that gives a true reflection made in the village of Aranmula. Much less known, and from this very village, is the Aranmula Maya Kannadi, a magical wall Kannadi that is warped and shows one the real and the inverted image. The Kannadi is snugly enclosed in a circular frame with a handle made from a single piece of wood. The delicate frame is carved with Yoga Maya inscriptions. A small black stone is embedded in the wooden handle. The popular belief is that the Aranmula Kannadi brings luck to the one it is gifted to. On the contrary, the Aranmula Maya Kannadi is believed to bring luck to the one who steals it. Yes, it has to be stolen. It brings much luck to the thief. During the time it is in the possession of the thief, the rest of the village turns police. But not for long. They say the mirror chooses the thief, but she is a capricious partner. She never stays with one person for more than a fortnight. It was during such a time that I came up with a brilliant idea. Instead of chasing the one Maya Kannadi perennially, why not make more Maya Kannadis? So I started making them on the side behind my workhouse for safe boxes. Later, I would plant them where someone could find them. Electrician Venu found his on the transformer. Fisherwoman Meenamma found hers by the river while washing her fish basket. Mele Tamburan, a descendant of the landlords, found his in the garden during the routine counting of jackfruits on his trees. He counted them every day as if counting would multiply them. Meanwhile, I continued to make the mirrors multiply.
And now I hope you mean what I mean by simplicity and profundity altogether in the same place.
Is it based on something real, or is this entirely from your imagination?
Brilliant question.
There is a real Aranmula Kannadi from my village. And they believe that when it's gifted to the person who receives it, brings them prosperity.
This means Sonali wants to steal it.
Yes.
But thank you so much. I think it's a brilliant story. I love the way you ended it. Starts with simplicity, then a smattering of humor, then a smattering of suspense, and then finally ends with great food for thought. You must. It's one of my favorites in the book, actually.
Since they come from Aramula, they wanted to show the real mirror.
Okay, you're going to see the real magic mirror.
No.
So this is the Aramula Kannadi made of metal, and it's very clear, the image that you see, and it's a real image.
Whereas in my story, it's this is Aramula Kannadi, mine is Aramula Maya Kannadi. So if I give this to Natasha, that was the intention. It brings prosperity to her.
Yes, please.
Yay.
Which starts right here. The billing counter is there.
Whereas the Aramula Maya Kannadi, it's fiction, fantasy, bringing love to the one who steals it.
You and I together in this. Stealing. Sonali?
Yeah.
Stealing, right?
I've got a getaway auto downstairs. Yeah.
So yeah, I was getting to the point where she has made several references to facts and then gone on into an imaginary story. And I find that happening even with the story that deals with the pilgrimage to Shabarimala. You start by mentioning the Jyoti, or as it is called, Makara Vilakku. Is it mythical or actual?
It is actual. We all grew up listening to this or seeing it on TV, this, Makara Vilakku, the light that comes thrice, that specific moment, during Makara Sankranti. And there were always questions and discussions as to, is it real? Is it divine light? Or are they, tribals lighting it? So I think some of us still continue to hold that belief that there is something divine about it. Yes.
What is the story about?
So there is a 41-day fast and a lot of rules and restrictions. As they climb the hill upward, mechanically, having followed all these rules in the fast, Venu, the character, climbs down the hill, downward through the forest of his emotions, to understand and become aware of the meaning, intention of these rituals, and then he climbs from the other side, which is of knowledge.
There are several interesting points in his journey towards the light. I'd like you to elaborate on the personifications that you have used.
So, as he climbs down the hill, he encounters a small little pool. And the pool says that it is the Kunya, baby of Pampa. So it becomes Pampa Kunya for him. And then comes a snake who becomes his Anna, his elder brother. And comes a tiger. All these personifications of all these characters are, for me in this story also, nothing but Venu himself. These are aspects of him, his fears, his conflicts, him dealing with his doubts and fears.
So she's just made a case in point when I say the first look at the book, you will simply enjoy the stories for their simplicity. It will remind you of your grandmother telling you a story. But somewhere at the back of your mind, you will want to go back to the story because your mind will say, hey, no, it doesn't end there. There's something deeper. And each one of your stories nudges the reader to say, look deeper inside. I think it's brilliantly done. Showed me the poem, which I thought was art. Please talk about it.
So none of us see the world as a whole. All of us are observing or seeing at the same time. We just see only a part or just a fraction of it. only as a collective do we see the entire thing, together. So for me, that picture represents just a picture for someone who does not understand the language or who cannot read. And someone who can read it will read it. And when you read it, somehow you lose some perspective of looking at it just as a plain picture. And those who understand the inner meaning of it, they gain over there, but knowledge can also be limiting, where you then somehow cut off from just the words and just, the picture. So that idea of perception, how no perception is really right or wrong, everything depends on from which angle where you're looking at.
So she's also managed to put in a one-act play, which is really, really short. I feel the sense of stage or the space of stage speaks volumes of the two characters, goes beyond even what is being written as a one-act play.
Rama is confined to a specific part of the stage, and there are strings attached to him. So he's, have you seen Bommalata? So it's a puppet play, where the puppeteer, the bomma is like, it's just painted face, but the way the puppeteer operates the bomma brings life to it. So for me, Rama is consciousness born out of purpose. There is dharma, there is a duty, and it is a life that is aware of its purpose. The master puppeteer, which is purpose itself, is what he's playing here. Whereas Maricha for me is more of nature. The nature that is free-flowing, that just wants to continue to live, want to smell, even till the last moment, every bit of it. It's a celebration of life. Knows that it's going to go back to its source, but till that moment, I want to celebrate my life. I want to enjoy everything on this planet. So that is what is Maricha for me.
And both are equally true.
Equally true, and sometimes we are Rama, sometimes we are Marichas, depending on the situation, yes.
I remember, Ruchi, when you were reading the manuscript, you said Kumbham was one of your favorite stories. The introduction to Kumbham is very, very intriguing. Will you please read it for us?
Once upon a time, in the past, present, or future, is a village, unlike any other. Everyone worked, everyone played, everyone learned, everyone danced. A village so far away from anywhere and nowhere. No one ever came here. No one ever left here. No one ever came here but a traveler. No one ever left here but that boy. The little girl narrated stories to the sick child every night. The little girl was very fond of the sick child. Every day she brought her herbs from the nearby forest. Appa crushed these herbs and made a medicinal paste with goat milk to feed the sick child. Most nights, the little girl would sleep hugging the sick child after telling her stories. Here, there are no deities. There is a pot, Kumbha. Moopenars say that in their Moopers time, the earth itself gave birth to the pot. They witnessed the birthing that lasted for 12 whole months. A pot like the belly of a full-blown pregnant woman. Inside the belly, there are thousands and thousands of Chitra Kadagal on palm leaves. Never-ending picture stories. The leaves never exhaust. The traveler who came and never left became the first teacher and was assigned to read the pictures. That is how our teachers became our priests and the pot our Kuladeva. The village goes to the Kumbham for anything and everything. Birth, death, illness. The pot has stories for everyone. The stories that are already read now hang on the village tree as witness.
Also, very intriguing is a constant character, which is a man with long curly locks. What's the significance of this man?
I was always fascinated by, anyone, man or woman with long hair. Even as a little child, I believe I used to go with a comb to anyone who came home saying, let me comb your hair, let me comb your hair. But yes, apart from that fascination, it is deliberate. But that will reveal itself in the next book.
We'll wait. At least I will certainly wait. You end the author's note with a very, very strong line. What do you mean when you write? And so I stay, trust me.
There was one particular situation, like many things coming together, culminating at a particular point where there is this extreme pain of I do not know how to explain, but at that moment, you just surrender. You just surrender, and I heard a voice. It wasn't from outside. I heard a voice, trust me. And yes, so I stayed in the process, and everything just turned around beautifully.
So thank you so much, Ruchi Raveendran, the author. I'm really happy to have an audience. Are you happy to have an audience which is so receptive?
Yes, very. Thank you so much.
Thank you, folks. Enjoy your snacks and the evening and a tete-a-tete with the author.
Before we wrap up the formal part of the event and go on to the signing and the chai and the adda, I have a few small gifts to give away. Before we give the gifts, thank you, Amrita.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Amrita. Amrita herself is an author, a poet, a jewelry designer, a painter. She is a woman of many talents and is very actively involved in the literary scene in Bangalore. She is part of a member of the Bangalore Poetry Festival. So we are, I am a friend, however, I am aware that it's a privilege to have you moderate this event. So yeah, why don't we start the first gift with little something for Amrita.
Thank you, and I'm going to love it. Thank you so much.
And Thierry, how do I introduce you? Thierry has been a patron and an angel who's been like an umbrella in Ruchi's life. So he houses her and feeds her, takes care of her in every way, encourages her. She has many angels, she is blessed. So Thierry, thank you so much in spite of your health. You came all the way from Pondicherry and climbed all those stairs. We are immensely grateful. And this book, would not have been possible without your help. So this is a little something for you, your copy of the book and a little gift for you. And to Ruchi's parents, who have given birth to such a beautiful child, this book will not have been possible if the child was not well.
Yes, you travel as well.
So yes, so
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud of my daughter today. Today, God bless, I am the most luckiest father ever born.